Yeah. She got that. Great, she did. We're gonna give her a wedding back.
You like the new bed?
Yeah, it's working out.
It's, yeah, it wasn't on the other end of it, but the way it was operating
Yeah,
here, I thought it was.
And for you.
I mean, it was hard to find one that wasn't super expensive and not junk.
Yeah.
I threaded the needle on this one.
Oh, well,
Just can't break it.
you probably just kept checking and checking and checking
Yeah.
until something happened.
That's what I did. I think I bought two and sent one back and one never
Yeah.
got delivered.
I remember, yeah.
It finally came together.
I remember you setting up my printer in my and all my stuff.
Yeah.
For some reason, my printer decided it doesn't want to work unless it's very near my computers. I had it in the basement for forever. So we moved it upstairs. I'm using laptops more. That one in the basement, I stopped really using it very much. So now it probably won't print.
Hard to say with that stuff.
But it printed flawlessly through the whole thing. It kept going offline. And so I finally decided that it was because the connection with the Wi-Fi wasn't strong enough, although
Yeah, it sounds like that.
in one location, I got a strength of like 60.
Yeah.
I thought 60 certainly ought to be enough,
Yeah.
but
Your house is kind of a weird
so it,
Wi-Fi thing. That basement's really tough.
well, there's those cement walls.
Yeah.
And, but my booster, the booster I got has been really, really good. And it's not even the preferred from Amazon, but it's the preferred for cement walls.
Oh, yeah.
So anyway,
They work.
yeah. It's always something. Oh, there's a bar and, most of the next.
Being in the library and somewhere in the Marcus, he was actually done. And he was like, "What's that?" So, I got a couple of things. And I've heard the meetings. Speech. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, when you watch my presidency, I know. Yeah. It's like the fourth. Yeah. She's got the pack, right? So that's.
No, I went. No, it's my fault.
Yeah. Yeah, so I saw that. They are. Okay. I registered, but I left grade. It's just some story. It's like.
So, right now.
They're good. They're good. Looking forward to it.
All right.
Sometimes the air. And I'm.
Oh, yeah. What's that? Hey, Greg. Hey, Greg.
Yeah.
Should we reserve to take that over here for the kids? So they have spring vinyl for.
Yeah.
Well, what you want to do?
I should say
Yeah, and then just. The last thing that we have, that I can still have. It's four people. So one was five bucks, it's good change. But so that way you line before. So we have. It's not gonna do. I said I was supposed to be in yesterday. But this week. This week. And then I went to my grandparents. Do you have any questions?
Oh, no.
I saw your. So when you vote, like the voting machine. It's 15 points. Well, but I don't, that's the question that you're getting at. And I need to hear.
It's one way test. One meeting.
There's some kind of. So it's. Yeah. It's got. You don't have what's your, where, how many plugs do you want? Where do you want to build? Where do you? Where do you put the lens? When is the most expensive? That's the most expensive ad here.
Yeah.
Like I'm talking with you for one computer. FaceTime.
Yeah.
Tell me, well, then you can.
Like, do I just set that down? Like, all right.
Oh, if you think it's really good, it's funny. I saw it. I was thinking to get by. I know your project. It's time.
Got it.
I'll be on the stage there. Oh, look at it.
I don't have anything for the last You did, you know, I was in the post office every day. So.
Yeah, that's cool.
The last one is after. And then that's the new list.
Original piece.
I don't know.
I'm John.
Again. Yeah. You're out of town.
Although, because it's every 2 weeks, maybe.
I do.
Folks, let's get started. For visitors and guests, I'm Joe Patchen. I'm this year's Rotary President of the Dublin Worthington Rotary Club. And I'd like to welcome all of you to the 20th meeting of the 51st Rotary year of our club. And Tom Rice will do our invocation and pledge.
Let us pray. Dear God, we thank you for today, for your gift of the people around us, and for a chance to focus on the four-way test, an important moral compass for us. We thank you for our high school students and their many gifts and their passion for things like truth and fairness and better friendships and benefiting all. Bless this meal and this time together, we pray, and empower us as we live in response to the four-way test. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, the nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thanks very much. We're going to do our announcements after our four-way test contestants have their way. Same for our sergeant's duty. So Ken, you get to eat in peace for a bit. But I would like to just note that we have a couple visitors. We have a visiting Rotarian, Shay from the Grove City Club, who has kindly introduced Lisa Leach to our club, who we will be talking to and further encouraging today. So thank you. And Scott's all over it already, as you all know. Greg, where did you go? There you are. Thank you. I'm going to get out of your way. And if you want the microphone, here it is, and best of luck. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen of Rotary, I'd like to introduce Heather Sorensen and her students from Dublin Scioto High School for this year's four-way test speech contest. And I'll give this to Heather and we'll get started.
First, thank you so much for having us here. This is one of our favorite things to do every year for the AP Language and Composition class. So we have 6 students with us here today. Something to know is that even above the 3 who will compete today, all of the others also put themselves out there at the classroom level and wanted to be considered. So they've all done the speech. I would say we had probably about 100 students in our high school who all completed this speech on topics of their choosing. But today we have Lauren Bliss in here, who's going to be speaking, Lisa Acando, and Lila Clymer. Those are our 3 people. I really know what they're going to do. Who's going to go first? Yes. Okay, so Lauren is going to speak about Gen Z's interest in identity. Lisa is going to speak about disordered eating, and Lila is going to talk about sexism and STEM classes. Are we ready to go?
There you go. Just talk. Yeah. Hold on. I'm sorry. Oh, second.
Not ready?
One more announcement. Just a quick announcement for everyone. If you have one of these, cut it off. George, cut your phone off.
George, turn off your phone.
Not off your phone, George. Got it? All right, good.
Let me
cut it off.
Sure. All right. Let's just, okay.
Thank you, George.
Hey, everyone. Could I be honest with you? I'm really anxious right now. Talking can be scary. My palms are really sweaty. I wonder if there's a solution for that. Maybe I can find something on TikTok shop. TikTok, I love TikTok and Instagram. Whenever I post something, I always hope it gets hundreds of likes. Because look at my life. It's great, but it's not. I'm searching. We're all searching for something to make us feel whole. Can I let you in on a secret? Nothing in this world will ever make you feel complete. As a generation most impacted by mental illness, there is a desperate search for a solution. Teens find themselves fabricating friendships and manufacturing a happy life in hopes of faking it till they make it. But there are some teens who are finding it authentically, and they're finding it in the church. There is a significant resurgence in church attendance, and it's being led by Gen Z. Through the lens of the 4-way Rotary test, we see that Gen Z's interest in Christianity is bringing us out of the loneliness epidemic and into goodwill, better friendships, and a more fair and supportive environment. It is the truth that Gen Z is known as the anxious generation. Ranging from 14 to 29 years old, these individuals are screenagers. The presence of accessible technology has led to the increase of anxiety and depression in teens, according to the Interactive Journal of Medicine, with 9 out of 10 teens reporting struggles related to anxiety. But what does that mean for a teen from day to day? Let me help you visualize it. A high school student wakes up for school already suffocating under a mountain of worry. As she gets ready, she will take her prescribed medication that is supposed to make her feel happy or at least normal. Clinically and physically anxious, she will go through her day just to experience it all again tomorrow. How do I know? Because it was me. Because I am part of the 9 out of 10 teens who suffocate in worry. Because I am part of the 9 out of 10 teens who struggle to find a reason to get out of bed in the morning. Because I am part of the anxious generation. But I'm also a part of the Christian faith. I am a part of the faith that says I am made in God's image, created on purpose for a purpose. I am a part of the faith that says because of God's love for me, I have a reason to wake up and find joy. Now, it's not crazy to assume most of Gen Z isn't spiritually connected. Only 34% of Americans think that religion is increasingly influential on one's life. However, that number is up 20% from a year ago. Is this to say that Gen Z is seeking to improve their mental health in the church? I think yes. Knowing Jesus provides a peace beyond our understanding, and Gen Z is beginning to figure that out. Take Asbury University, for example. In 2023, a 16-day outpouring of worship, prayer, and repentance led 50,000 visitors to this Kentucky college. These students were hungry and less interested in beliefs than in a faith that works, according to journalist Kevin Brown. All of this to say that the true living God is active in the next generation. He is turning us from the anxious generation to the revival generation. The invitation to spiritual life is fair to all concerned in one's autonomy to choose. Knowing Jesus provides a unique and personal relationship that makes Christianity more than just religion, but true relationship. Churches like Life Point Church in Ohio foster engaging services that allow teens to discover Christ for themselves. Here, messages aren't geared towards those who are already followers of Jesus, but to everyone in the room. God, being a fair God, allows you to live separate from him, even though that's not what he wants. He wants quite the opposite, as he sent his son to earth to pay a debt you and I both owe. Also that you could be forgiven and choose to live in relationship with him. And from that choice gives you a peace that comforts you even when your plans go astray, and a joy that is unshakable regardless of the circumstances. That is what drives someone to Christianity. Not the fear of hell or heaven, but the fair and personal relationship that comes from knowing Christ. Inevitably, through the principles of the Christian faith, knowing Christ promotes better friendships and goodwill. In our own community, Life Point Church fosters friendships through their own Christian summer camp. Emma Best, the student director at Life Point Church and a member of Gen Z herself, explains that part of the fun of student ministry is helping others grow in friendship and community with one another. But what makes Christian relationships different than other relationships? Well, why do we look for relationships? Innately, we want to belong, to be chosen. Now, we'll look for that in friends or family. Those relationships aren't bad, but they may fail. Jesus, when you allow him to live inside of you, will never fail. With Jesus, your relationships rise to a different kind of love, a love that is patient and kind, enduring all things. The world will tell you love is a feeling like the butterflies you get on your stomach before a first date. But true love, biblical love, is a choice. Biblical love does not leave when times get hard or insist on its own way. Biblical love endures all things. Now, secure in your friendship with Christ, your relationships rise to this new kind of love. The magnetic understanding of love and Christian community allows you and lets you run to the feet of Jesus. The character of Christian communities benefit all concerned. Their hunger for faith turns these teens and their hearts towards serving. Serving as worship leaders or Sunday school teachers, these teens are doing more than just going to church. Additionally, their heart for service extends beyond the walls of the church. Many youth groups serve in homeless shelters or food pantries like One Dublin on a regular basis. They even pack meals to send to countries and families in places like Guatemala. And Christian or not, helping people is good. Loving people is good. For Jesus first commands us to love the Lord with all our heart, and secondly, those around us, resulting in our actions being an outpouring of Christ's love for us. Whether it's their faith or their shared commitment to service, we can all learn from Gen Z's search for something bigger than themselves. It is apparent that through the lens of the four-way Rotary test, we see that a fair relationship with Christ promotes goodwill, better friendships, and makes a beneficial environment for all concerned. Standing here today, I can assure you that a world filled with anxious lies, social media filters, and lonely hearts will never satisfy you. Only Jesus can. Standing here today, I assure you that because of my fair and personal relationship with Christ, I live a better life. Because of Jesus, I live truthfully, found, and in community. Because of Jesus, you and I can live truthfully, found, and in community. Because of Jesus, I have been able to step out of the darkness and into the light. Thank you. Yes.
Say it's not your turn, Drew.
In retrospect, I should have further anticipated what my classes this year would be like. Engineering, higher level math, generally a more science-based schedule. But even having some idea of what I was getting myself into, it still came as a bit of a shock. I found that sexism has worked its way into my everyday life as of late. To investigate this, I decided to apply the Rotary 4-way test. Is it true that sexism affects girls in their academic lives? Um, Is it true that sexism benefits girls in their everyday life? Is it,
Okay.
It's okay.
You need your notes? Yeah, just go look at your notes.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. You can bring them with you.
Is it the truth that women and girls face sexism in academic spaces? While considering how best to explain this, I kept jumping back to the conversations I had with my friends while brainstorming for this topic. When have you experienced sexism at school, I inquire? Some of them knew immediately. My words are overlooked in favor of my male counterparts, or my teacher only asks the boys for help. Some of them, however, immediately responded that they didn't think they'd ever experienced something of the sort. So I continued the conversation, telling my own stories, and I could almost see the gears turning in their heads. Oh, they'd realize there was that one time. Sexism is so ingrained into academia that we don't even notice it anymore. And it's not just my friend group being overdramatic either. An article from Psychology Today reported that over half of teenage girls experience overt academic sexism at school. Look around this room. How many of you were once a teenage girl? How many of you know someone who is one? Someone who was one? Consider that at bare minimum, half of these women and girls have stories like mine, like my friends. To me, that makes this issue true. Next, is it fair to all that we experience this problem? When considering this, I began thinking about my own experiences. I have an interest in engineering, which, as I'm sure we all know, is an extremely male-dominated field. Of course, I knew this going into it, but it still came as a bit of a shock to me. This is something that I'll continue to bemoan, even over everyone telling me how I must have expected it. There are 6 girls in my large engineering class. Although I'm not close with them, we shared similar tales amongst each other. Our words are overlooked in favor of our male counterparts, or our ideas fall upon deaf ears, only to be repeated word for word by Ben, repurposed into his own thoughts. And then, when you look at that, the idea is actually pretty decent, but of course, it was his, not mine or ours, and the credit goes to him. It is not fair that all of us experience this. It is certainly not fair that it's so normal, so every day, that the stories are passed around like harmless side effects of the path we've all chosen to follow. Now, does this problem build any goodwill or friendship? Immediately, I think of how relationships are formed between the students in my classes. It's pretty easy to make acquaintances in them and sometimes pretty easy to keep them. Other times, small grating things begin to happen. Small comment, a long laugh when my teacher insists that he needs a big, strong man to help him. Suddenly, I struggle to feel anything but annoyance. Even such small moments of sexism, which could easily be laughed off, can make it very difficult to maintain a friendly relationship with the guys in my class. Although I know it's not all of them, and I do my best not to make assumptions, but gender bias can make this very difficult. An article from the University of Nevada provides a good example of gender bias in action. It finds that both men and women consistently rate men as more employable and competent, despite having similar levels of education and intelligence. It's hard to feel any goodwill towards someone you are automatically seen as inferior to. Rather, it might inspire animosity or competitiveness. Facing sexism in academic spaces doesn't just cause conflict between boys and girls either. Often, especially as classes become more advanced, the idea that there can only be one smart girl appears. This can be incredibly damaging, as it causes conflict between the girls too. We should be able to share in each other's achievements, but when the idea that that can take opportunity away from our own success appears, it can be incredibly difficult to do so. Overall, it is clear to me that sexism does not build friendship between anyone, no matter how they are affected by it. Finally, is this beneficial? I think by now we can all guess that my answer is no. It discourages girls from participating in the classes they're interested in and does nothing to promote connection or happiness. And this isn't just seen in the short term either. The long-term effects of sexism that begin in school are worth noting as well. Facing degradation starting in their education sets girls' expectations low, leading them to accept continuing mistreatment into their adult lives. Women are employed in far fewer high-level positions than men, get less promotions, the works. Imagine the possibilities that this was not the case. Half of the population has their dreams stamped down starting in their education. If this wasn't the case, could we be included in more studies? Could women's health be studied more? We are dampening these possibilities with the actions I've been discussing. Small comments lead to less confidence. Gender bias messes with the perception of oneself and of others. None of this is beneficial, not in the short term and definitely not in the long term either. It is true that women and girls face sexism in academic spaces. It is not fair or beneficial. It promotes no connection and builds no goodwill. It's experienced by many and touches the lives of almost everyone. But this doesn't have to be the case. If we could, for example, provide better representation of women in engineering, we might see more than 6 girls in my class. By promoting the idea that neither gender is automatically more capable or valuable, we could see more women in higher level positions. By fixing this problem early, it could even bleed into the future, and we could see women in higher level positions with greater frequency. It will take conscious effort from all sides. Teachers catching those little comments both themselves and their students make. Parents overcoming their own biases to teach their children what's okay and not okay. I think we can all agree that it would be beneficial. So let's start consciously making these efforts together and let's watch the effects grow.
Before you start, you are Lisa?
Yeah, I am. Lisa.
Okay. So it's for the benefit of the judges, we don't know you, so we need to know the name.
I'm Lisa.
Thanks, Lisa.
All right. You look different. Just eat more. Do you think you look better than before? Why don't you stop? Although these types of questions are often born out of curiosity, we must be mindful of the impact towards those who are dealing with silent battles. To a stranger, I'm just another student, but behind the uniform, behind the smile, and behind the silence lies a 4-year battle that statistics cannot fully capture. I bring this topic up because it is deeply personal to me, and I know I am not alone in the battle with body acceptance. To this crisis, I applied the Rotary 4-way test. I asked, is it true that we have allowed a culture of perfection to replace the health of our youth? Is it fair to the bodies of teenagers that are being starved of vital nutrition? Does building goodwill and better friendships mean contrasting bodies to others?
And finally, is the pursuit of a perfect body truly beneficial to anyone? Through these questions, it is clear that body image satisfaction does absolutely nothing but create a never-ending cycle to those who fall victim to it. First, we can ask, is it true? Is it true that between the time period 1999 to 2022, the global overall proportion of children and adolescents with disordered eating was 22.36%? Is it true that in the US, from 2018 to 2022, health visits related to eating disorders more than doubled among minors, and visits for all eating disorders among them increased by 107.4%? It is undeniably true. But for many, body image isn't just an image, but an over-consuming thought that dictates a lifestyle. This isn't just a normal part of life. Teens shouldn't have to navigate puberty while also obsessing over their weight or purposely starving themselves. Unfortunately, I am more than a witness to these statistics. I am a part of them. I am that teen who would go days without stepping foot into the kitchen. I am that teen who would stay confined in my bed to avoid a meal. I am that teen who would cry out of distastefulness for my own body. I am that teen who would avoid looking myself in the mirror. This is a battle that doesn't vanish with time or isolation, but a crisis that demands a community that truly cares. Next, we can ask, is it fair? Is it fair that poor body image and body dissatisfaction can trap teens into a cycle of disordered eating? According to Hartman Munich, the answer is no. This is a thief that steals a teen's future health, leading to stalled bone health and paused puberty that can permanently damage bone density and adult height. This unfairness radiates outwards, placing an immense burden on families. When a teen struggles, the family feels the weight of every hospital visit and missed meal. I witnessed this firsthand in my household. As I began to prioritize my weight loss over my own health, the relationship between my mother and I fractured. This wasn't because my mother judged me, but because she was fighting for my health while I was fighting against it. So yes, it will never be fair to focus on the chase for a perfect body because it will never be beneficial to a teen's body and divides families. Now we can ask, will it build goodwill and better friendships? Can we create deep and supportive connections when we are constantly measuring our worth to those around us? The answer is a definitive no. When a teen becomes self-conscious, they stop seeing their peers as friends and start seeing them as benchmarks. This is fueled by social media. The Mental Health Foundation notes that internalization, media-driven body ideals leads directly to negative emotions and unhealthy behaviors. The actions of these attainable goals are actually false photoshopped illusions that feed directly into self-destruction. The actions of comparison are poisonous to goodwill. When a teen starts to become self-conscious, they have this fixation on being enough that ultimately leads to resentment and conflict. We cannot build body envy and more. Goodwill cannot flourish when we are constantly comparing our bodies to others. We need to stop comparing bodies and stop comparing frames and start supporting each other. With all this in mind, it is safe to say that no, body image dissatisfaction does not build any form of goodwill or friendships. Whether or not the mindset of having a perfect body is beneficial to all concerned does not feel like much of a question. Can the slow deterioration of a young body, all for an unreachable standard, ever be considered a benefit? The answer is a devastating no. We live in a culture that sells the idea of a flawless, ideal body that creates a cycle that traps millions. A study by Be Real that the Mental Health Foundation found is that 36% of adolescents would do whatever it took to look good, even if it meant destroying their own body. These children are stalling their own growth just to feel enough. They're constantly reaching out for this idea that they will never reach, just like a bird hitting a window, believing they'll eventually get through. This pursuit is not a path to become better or self-development. It is a race towards a finish line that in reality doesn't exist. So with this problem, prioritizing a perfect body over a living person, we don't just lose our health, but we are creating a cycle that won't stop until we drop dead, still not reaching for what we wanted. Let us all review what I have discussed today. With applying the Rotary four-way test, it is evident that the aim for a perfect body is ingrained in our society, our community, our country, and our world. When I first struggled with my body image, if I ended in the intensive care unit, nothing would have mattered to me because at least I'm 2 sizes smaller. I have spent nights curled on the floor, clenching my body in a fetal position to numb the pain and hunger, just convinced that losing 5 pounds is what would make me feel pretty. But as you all now know, this isn't a standalone experience. Many my age have gone and still go through this self-sabotaging trauma. So as I come forth with my familiarity on this topic, I want you guys to know as a community, it is our responsibility as a community to inform this generation and the next that a Photoshop image is an impossible finish line. We must teach them that although a perfect body is an illusion, their worth is permanent and real.
Oh, wow, thank you. Very powerful. I think we're gonna take a quick intermission. Sergeant, announcements,
Yeah, we can.
whichever wants to go first.
Sure. Are our judges leaving?
The judges will convene and reconvene shortly.
Okay, good. Then-
Back.
Thank you. Appreciate it, Craig. Yeah, marvelous. Thank you all. That was terrific. And yes, we do want to have our announcements. And if you would come on up, if you have one. Somebody's going to introduce a special person I didn't introduce yet because that honor was going to go to somebody else. I think.
Want me to do it?
It's you.
Okay. We're all out of order here.
That we're all out of order, but we're adapting. All right.
Yeah.
Well, oh, after?
Oh,
Is that okay?
sure.
Well, we don't know how much, they have to do their announcements, don't they?
We want you to go.
Pick one once, go Steve.
Well, then it is my privilege and honor to introduce our district governor, Sandy Knazel. She, just a little bit about her, she joined Rotary, the Columbus Rotary in 1992, shortly after beginning her career at the State Teachers Retirement System. And you weren't a member of the Rotary Club of Newark at the same time.
No.
This was a different.
It's a time.
Okay, so she then at one point, she was a member of that club. She first volunteered for the district in 2016 when she was asked to be our district grants chair. And she enjoys collaborating with club grant coordinators and helping them with the grant process. And then from July 2017 to June 2020, she served as assistant governor to the Clintonville, Granville, Newark Heath, and Zanesville Daybreak clubs. Then the pandemic hit, and she was asked to coordinate the district-wide fundraising project to provide donations to 3 food banks in our district. And through her leadership and the generosity of our members and clubs, Rotarians donated over 100 grand to food banks, and the Rotary Foundation kicked in another $25,000. As co-chair of the First District Community Service Project Committee, she helped organize the Socktober initiative, which raised or generated over 10,000 pairs of socks donated by 26 clubs to 20 different charities in our district. She also serves on the district's Rotary Foundation and multi-year planning committees. In 2021, she coordinated the district's annual awards celebration that recognized outstanding achievements by our clubs. And through that, she's a member of the district's 125 Club, the Polio Plus Society, and the Paul Harris Society, and she's also a Rotary Foundation major donor. As if there's, more to say, she served as president of the Columbus Rotary Club in 2010, 2011. And in a bit of a personal note, she earned her bachelor's degree in journalism from the University of Missouri, an MBA from OU, and she lives in New Albany with her husband, Dr. Bob Camps, who is a retired physician, and they have 4 grown children and 4 grandchildren. Cool.
Oh, put it off. All right, since you have some announcements, I'm gonna give you the Clip Notes version of the district governor talk, but I'm so glad to be here today. As you know, we had a little blip, at the beginning of this year. Our Rotary International President-elect Mario Cesar Martin Camargo, a couple weeks before the district conference, I mean, not district conference, the international conference, had to resign, because of business and family reasons. So what do? Usually district governors and usually RI presidents, it takes 2 years of training before you can take office. And this guy had 2 weeks. So he was in his, our current president was in his living room playing with his grandkids in Ragusa, Italy, Francesco Rizzo. And he gets this call and they say, hey, I know you interviewed for this job. Would you like to interview for it again? And he said, yes. And he was selected. So we owe a great deal of gratitude to Francesco Rizzo for taking on this challenge of leading 1.2 million Rotarians in 35,000 clubs around the world. When I was able to hear him speak in Calgary at the International Convention, he laid out 3 goals for us. I'm sure you can remember what they are. What do you think? You've been hearing about it all year. What is it? Darnell, membership. Yeah. But we're not talking just about membership growth. We're talking about the membership experience. We need to make sure that people feel that they belong. We need to make sure that they feel that they're engaged. We need to take their passions and their passions for service and roll it into the things that we're doing in our clubs. I was in Evanston, Illinois, the headquarters of RI International this summer, and our past president, Stephanie Urchik, shared a really startling statistic. She said that 50% of our new members leave within the first 3 years. Can you imagine how big Rotary would be and all the great things we could be doing if we kept those members after the 3-year mark? So besides membership, we're focusing as well on polio eradication. We've heard a lot about ending polio. We've been trying to end polio for 40 years now. And unfortunately, a couple of weeks ago, United Kingdom and Ireland decided to pull out $168 million that they were giving to the eradication effort to focus on other health problems. Now, I was afraid that our speaker, who is the leader in the polio eradication effort, Michael McGovern, who's coming to our district conference next week, was going to be going to the UK to figure out that issue, but he's still coming. So I want to make sure that you come to our district conference. We have lots of great things to share with you. He will even be doing a breakout session. We're only going to probably have about 150 people there. So you're going to have a chance to actually meet him, talk to him, ask him questions, find out where we're going with this polio eradication effort. He really is a rock star in leading the world to make sure that we get rid of this disease on our planet. Besides polio eradication, Francesco asked us to work on peace, but peace through service. The peace through service is what you all do with all your service projects. And one of the great initiatives that we put together this year is to bring back the Rotary Youth Leadership Awards that Ro and Larry Jenkins and Craig Maxey and many of you participated in for many, many years. I am so excited to say that we have 60 students who are coming to Ohio University in July. And on your tables, we need facilitators. And then next month, we're going to be asking for volunteers. So if you'd like to be a facilitator and stay in your own room in the dorms with the students, and if you would like to make sure that you go through the youth protection module on the Leadership Learning Center at RI.org, we'll be happy to consider you. Jenny Stotts, I think Jenny has been here many times. She is part of the Athens Sunrise Club, and she has gone through the curriculum and updated it for the students of today. We had a little break in the curriculum, so we needed to make sure that they were updated to the point that other RIs across the nation were using some of these great opportunities for the students. And plus, they're going to be doing a service project. They're going to be actually painting a mural on a building in downtown Athens. So it's a great opportunity for these students. And I can tell you that, has anybody participated besides Roe in this club? Yes? Yes. Well, usually at clubs, I ask the folks to stand up if they have participated and give a testimonial about the change that the students undergo in this 4-day adventure. And do you want to talk about that, Ro?
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
I give you a lot of stories about that.
Okay, all right.
So as Sandy indicated, I started RILA in 2011, and that was our first one. And then we took a break because of COVID. We couldn't have our convention because of COVID. But anyway, the students, I will tell you, we've had students who have gone on to the military academy, who have come back to us. We've even had a couple of marriages from students. I don't know about that's a good thing or not. But we've had so many students who have gone through the program. They come in and they don't know one another. They come from all over our district, from Southeast and Central Ohio. They get to meet other students who have very different socioeconomic areas they're from. And they get to meet one another, and soon they bond and form friendships. And many of these kids are together and may stay in touch. We see it on Facebook because I'm on Facebook with a lot of these students that I've known for many years now. And I see the relationships that they continue to do and what they're doing and how successful they are in their lives. They've gone on to be attorneys and doctors and so many wonderful professions. And we're so very proud and honored that the district is bringing this program back to our district after COVID. We're just excited to have these students back. For those students who are here with us today, it's sophomores and juniors. If any of you fit into that category and are interested in participating, please see me. We're looking to, our club sponsors students. I'm making my announcement as part of it, sorry. So our club sponsors students to go to RILA. So we pay all the expense. All mom and dad have to do is get you there and get you home. But please continue to support the program, and club members, if you know of a high school student, nephew, niece, neighbor that you think might be interested in this opportunity, let us know. It's a great opportunity, and thank you for letting me have this opportunity to share that.
Thank you, Ro. Well, the judges have returned, and so I am going to take just 2 more minutes, and I want to share a story with you. How many of you know the history of the 4-way test, how it actually came about? All right. Well, back in the recession, people weren't working. People didn't have food. We had food lines. It was just not a good time in the world. There was a company just outside of Chicago called the Club, C-L-U-B, Aluminum Products Company. And they were about to go bankrupt. They had 150 employees that were counting on those paychecks. They would soon be in the food lines if they didn't do something. So the investors decided to bring in a guy by the name of Herb Taylor. And they asked Herb to see if he could turn the company around. It was $400,000 in debt. That's a lot of money now, but it was a whole lot of money back in the 1930s. And Herb said, yeah, I'll give it a shot. So he came in, looked at all the companies. They're making pots and pans, aluminum, cookware. And he looked at the competition and he said, well, they've got a lot of financing behind them. We don't. The products are about the same. What's the difference? Well, the difference was the people. So instead of putting a bunch of guidelines and policies together, Herb decided to come up with a 4-way test. So he came up with the 4-way test, kind of sat on his desk for a week or so, because he wanted to change how people were thinking. He didn't want to change how they were doing it. He wanted to see how they were thinking and change that, because that would change what they were doing. Came up with the 4-way test, brought in his 4 top reports, all of different religions, and said, hey, does this sound okay to you? And does it conflict with any religious teachings that you have? And I said, no. So they rolled it out to their company, turned the company around. The company was bought out, and the company that bought him out is still in existence today. But in 1940, Herb Taylor became a director on the Rotary International Board, and he introduced the four-way test. And today, it has been translated into more than 100 languages. That always gives me chills. When you think about the impact one person and the group of Rotarians internationally can do to make a difference. So thanks for letting me be with you today, and we're on to the announcements.
All right, we're at the battle there. So for those of you who are inclined to help with the community service, our first project of the year is coming up on April 25th at the McConnell Arts Center, 9 a.m. George is bringing coffee and donuts. Actually, we'll take care of that. But we're going to clean up the beds around the place and spread mulch. And nobody has to shovel mulch because I got a machine that does all that for you. But we are gonna take that day and help clean up our community a little bit. So for those of you, the sheets are on the table, sign up. Sign up once if you want to. My next announcement is about our Memorial Golf Outing. 38 years we've had this. And sign up sheet is going around. It's gonna be on May 24th. It's a Friday, a Memorial Day weekend. So I've been told. And everybody just raise your hand or let me know if you want to play in that. We'll have a good time. Thank you.
Okay, I'm here for the next fundraising event, Night of the Races, the 22nd. The window's beginning to close on what you can do. We need everybody to get in and sign up as soon as possible. First of all, you can name a horse. And so for 20 bucks, you can own and name a horse, and if it wins, you get a little prize. The fun of it is trying to figure out the name. And you can own more than one horse. And I'll just say, even though our sign up says it, if you'd like to own a horse and you can't come to the event, sign up anyway. But that's going to close tonight. So we need everybody to get out there and buy a horse or multiple horses for the event. So it's the 22nd. The next thing is we need people to buy tickets. So we need to get a count for the venue, and so we need everybody to go out and buy tickets so we can get the numbers set. And then I'll say just the last thing, bring your family, bring your friends. It's a lot more fun. If you got people sitting with you, you can talk about your horse, about the race. We have a silent auction that's gonna come while we're doing that. So there's plenty of places to spend your money, and we're hoping you will. And hopefully we'll see you guys on the 22nd, but sign up for a horse today. Okay.
I want to offer you a plan B for April 25th. And our students are invited too. If you're interested, we're doing a Habitat for Humanity wall build on Saturday, April 25th, on the front lawn of Worthington Presbyterian Church and on the village green. And breakfast starts at 8. People need to come to register by 8:30, and construction will start at 9. Tools are provided. It's a ton of fun. We're looking for 120 volunteers. And so you can go to Worthington Presbyterian Church's website to sign up. Everybody's welcome. Thank you.
I know that I thought you got it.
How long will that last?
Till noon. 12 o'clock.
So you can come to the MAC and still then just adjourn to the church.
And then go to the conference.
And then go to the conference. It's a Rotary day.
So one other thing about Night of the Races, because we're running out of time, Charlie's looking for some volunteers to help be cashiers. So if you got a little time, you don't have to do the whole event, but we appreciate a few people helping out with the cashiering. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
We
very much enjoyed that, but we know that it's a contest too, so I'm
This is
handing you the microphone back.
This is by far my least favorite part. You all are winners and thank you once again for it. Thank you. I know John's probably gonna want to take pictures, so when you do come up, you want to say up here, you get your picture with me, so that's a win. In third place, I want to congratulate Lyle. Also would like to thank the judges. Thank you. I know it's difficult, extremely difficult every year to do this. So, yeah, stay here, please. And second place is Lauren. And congratulations. Lisa, I know that. I know it was a difficult decision for the judges, and the district competition is on the 26th of April. So Lisa, hopefully you'll be participating in that, and we wish you luck. 25th. Well, thank you all, and
I'll take your picture over. Let's get around,
Mr. President, you want to get it?
Have me take.
No.
I'm getting probably this.
Okay, fine.
Get in there. All right. Yeah. It's good.
Mr. President.
Okay.
I think you should, I get behind the side.
That's great. That's good. Go ahead. Okay, 1, 2, 3. And again, you can say. Okay, thank you.
Thanks, everybody. I want districts to grade us at the end of this meeting too, because we recite all these at the end of the meeting, and I want you to call it out if we screw it up. All right, Ken, we put you off long enough. Do your duty. Ken is our sergeant, and his job is to pester and raise money and charm and delight us all as well.
And guess.
It's a tough job. What's that?
Guess.
Yes, no, yes.
Yes, don't pay,
You will not be fired.
unless they really want to.
Yes, they may, they like.
First of all, I'm up here to demonstrate that, ladies, there's actually no shame in referring to your notes. Especially when you're speaking to a group of people that, for the most part, doesn't know what they had for dinner last night. Who wants to carry the pot? Need a pot carrier. Gotta get through this.
I can do that.
Darnell, thank you. First of all the adult numbers in the room, if you never, as a teenager, got up in front of a group of adults and gave a speech, get $1 out right now. My high school speech teacher, wonderful lady by the name of Bev Graves, Worthington High School, with a smile on her face, called me mushmouth because I didn't enunciate. Look how far I've come. So here's $1 for all the speech teachers, including Bev Graves in the world. Happy dollars. Who's got them? Let's go.
Hope for us.
Not so fast, my friend.
Got two of them. First, that Charlie is here today, is in the process of recovery, and hope you continue, my friend, and thanks for being here.
Any other happy bucks out here? Yes, sir.
Yes, I'm just back from Veracruz. I've been spending practically 4 months there. I just wanted to emphasize one thing today to you, and that is that last week my daughter arrived from Berlin, Germany to Veracruz, Mexico, and she brought with her 4 German friends. And it was an amazing week. We visited a lot of the ruins and other sites, but perhaps the most important thing was on Thursday evening. It was the eve of my daughter's birthday. We actually had a serenade at home for her, and that was really very special. And thanks for allowing me to share that with you.
You're welcome. Any others?
All right, I forgot an advertisement, $20.
So if you can't make it to the district conference, we are having an online auction and all the proceeds go to Polio Plus. And we've got some really cool items, some trips for people and some weekend getaways. So check it out. We launching it next week. Thank you.
Thank you. That $20 makes it look like I really did a good job today. Any others? Joe.
I'm happy that Sandy, who obviously had lots to say and forgot nothing, forgot one thing. So now, there's gonna be an event. Guess what day it is? Conclusion of the district conference, there's an event that everybody can go to, even if they're not at the conference, and it's the dueling pianists thing. And you can describe it better than I can, but now I screwed myself up, and I have to do it. So there's an email you should look for.
Doing pianos, it's a sing-along, dancing. It comes with dinner. We're having a scattered serving, so you can just go and grab sandwiches and, desserts and everything, throughout the evening. But, $75 all goes to Polio Plus, except for the cost of the dinner. So thank you very much.
Mike?
Yeah, everybody knows today's tax day. After paying my taxes, I have $1 left over, so.
You're 50 cents ahead of me. So during a recent meeting, and I don't want to get too graphic, somebody watching remotely burped into their computer. And well, everybody sitting here heard it. So if you've ever burped out loud, which is every man in the group that's ever had a beer, throw in $1. Masters is over, great event. Next big event's the Kentucky Derby. Who in the room has ever been to the Kentucky Derby? It's only 3 hours away. If your hands are down, throw in $1. So in honor of our speakers today, all from Dublin, Scioto High School, who knows anything about the history or athletic history at Scioto High School? Question for the group. What year did Scioto High School open?
95.
How'd you know?
I moved here.
Charlie, shut the hell up. I'm trying to raise money. What year did Scioto win their state football title? Is that your final answer? Of course it is, because I'm running out of time. 1995, everybody throwing $1. Is everybody up to $3?
Yes.
Our maximum?
Okay.
I'm done.
Good job.
Thank you, Ken. Now, we do a raffle here too. So stick around for the four-way test of us, please. But in the meanwhile, that pot gets found by somebody who bought a ticket.
Pick another winner.
Yeah. There you go. Just one.
Yeah, that's a good one. The last four digits are 4308.
I know who that was because you bought them right in front of me.
Oh, that's a big one.
They gotta be here. They bought right before me. 4308 going once.
Oh, 4308, did you say? I wasn't doing that to increase the drama. There's the guy who was me. Sorry, okay.
Hey, Joe.
Yeah.
It's usually only George that sleeps through that.
Eyesight, not hearing. Sorry.
That was $73.
Good.
I will donate that to something.
Yeah, that's what I wondered. Okay, we're getting on to the big pot. And I was so disappointed in the last draw, just before my numbers. So I'm picking
Let her try again.
number 2 to do it. You better be better. So you wanted to know how much the pot was?
Please.
$1,516. And I'm telling you, if the wrong person wins, I'm sending out a 1099.
We'll donate it too, don't worry. I know you meant me.
4364.
Oh, one away.
I think I'm gonna try.
Go for it.
Both the AC wins a pot.
Oh, you guys aren't gonna like this. 3 of spades. I was rooting for Al. I really was.
That was definitely fair to everybody.
Al's creditors do not feel that way. All right. And we conclude, as we always do, with reciting the 4-way test.
Maybe our guest could lead us.
Oh, John comes through with a great idea as always. Of the things we think San do first, second,
Is it fair?
third,
Yes.
and fourth. How'd we do? All right. You're adjourned.
She's supposed to say that out loud.
Don't put the phone back on.
Special harassment today. That was unfair. That's part of Marcy's as well.
There's more.
Very special, very special. So tomorrow, actually.
That process first.
But there's my. Yeah.
So that's the first step.
Jerry, I'll be right back. Yeah. I just trust it. So
You're very excited.
When did they think of returning?
But you know, everything. Their participation. That's most.
You know what it's. It's just surprise. I think at least 30. Maybe 15 was in this.
So well, the problem is that how do you prove it?
That's the guy. How will that handle like be
Well, I was in believe it, I was like.
Yes, I was just gonna write.
Yes. I know that she can say her Saturday. I mean, yeah, I thought so.
Oh, wow. My buddy hates me.
I'm not.
What is your lights out? She's probably enough. I think there's a.
Well, April 26th. Well, you'll see, I was talking about Lacey yesterday. I said, I should get myself all pretty up to listen shop. That's all right. So I'm there up to the top, she's site. It's a